Hey guys, I'm standing in front of 4366 Osceola, and this is a house that we just wholesaled. We made $500 and $3,300. We made about $4,000, give or take. We were just short of $4,000 on this house. Now this was a wholesale deal, and this is actually a creative deal, and there's a lot of lessons to be learned with this deal. So I want to talk a little bit about the deal here. So this was a property that we actually got the lead back in April. It was April 15th that the lead was actually added to our CRM. Today is, I think, October 22nd. So 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. That's a 6-month-long deal, essentially. I'm not good at simple math. 6-month-long deal. Now, the reason that this deal is so unique is it was a vacant property, and it had been vacant for 10 years. The seller actually was in the military, and he hadn't made a mortgage payment in 10 years. He hadn't paid his taxes in 10 years. Now, I'd imagine that was escrowed, but either way, the bank cannot foreclose on an active military member. I was unaware of this. So you're learning new things every day, right? So he basically had this house here at 4366 Osceola in St. Louis, Missouri, and he joined the military, and he said, screw this house, I'm gonna quit making my mortgage payments. And this went on for 10 years. So when I first talked to him back in April, he had not made a mortgage payment in 10 years. So I went and I looked at the taxes, and the taxes were being paid by the bank because they didn't want an investor to come in and circumvent their mortgage and basically get this house. So the bank was making these payments. Whenever he walked away from the mortgage 10 years ago, he owed about $55,000. And after the taxes and additional fees and interest, the bank basically said that he owed $75,000. So they tacked on about 25 or 20 grand more. So my purchase price was $75,000. So what do we actually do to the property? I'm gonna give you guys a quick little shot. They're actually missing a window here, so I can still peek in. But I mean, this place needs an entire gut rehab. It needs everything, right? And when we bought this property, we basically spent about $2 grand getting the backyard cleaned up, and we also just cleaned out the inside of the property. So we spent $2 grand. We chopped all this stuff down back here, and you can kind of see, I mean, you can see that it was overgrown really, really bad. And basically it was 10 years of growth. All this stuff right here that I'm walking in was probably 15 feet high. And you can see this house still needs a rehab, right? We didn't touch it. We didn't really spend, I shouldn't say we didn't spend any money, because we did spend $2 grand cleaning it out and cleaning it up, but we didn't buy the house, guys. We just put this property under contract. Let's see here. So we bought it for $75,000. We had it listed, and I really thought that I was gonna make 10 or 15 grand on this deal. I really did. But I still ended up making $4,000, and who doesn't want an extra 4 grand, right? So, last but not least, let's see here. This is interesting. Not only did he not make a mortgage payment for 2 years, get off my arm, bug, for 10 years, and didn't pay taxes at all. The bank paid those. And we paid the $2,000 to clean up. We actually had a buyer come in and put down $2,000 in earnest money, and they didn't close. So we kept the $2,000 in earnest money, which paid us back for the $2,000 that we spent to clean the house out and clean up the backyard. Mowed it all down, cleared all the bushes and trees, and we got all the stuff out. When we came here the first time, I think there were squatters. I'm not really sure. There was a bunch of furniture, but there was no electric, no gas, no water. The toilet looked like it had been used for 2 months with no water. It's pretty disgusting. And there was an old dirty mattress, and according to the neighbors, there was supposedly somebody squatting in here. I never saw them. We just basically came in and cleaned everything out, and there wasn't anything of value anyway. So we cleaned everything out and left a couple notes saying, you know, property is going to be purchased and you need to get the hell out. And we never heard or saw from that person. So we got kind of lucky with that, and we got lucky with the earnest money as well, because that initial buyer, well, shouldn't say lucky, he backed out, but we were able to reimburse ourselves the entire cleanup and clean out costs by keeping their earnest money. So when they backed out, we relisted the property. So I guess this is a wholesale, not a wholesale, because we listed the property, owner by contract. And then again, we did find a buyer. I think the buyer submitted an offer for 85, and then they got us down a little bit, and then the closing costs. So we only ended up clearing $4,000 on this wholesale deal. Not a huge home run for us, especially since we started working on this back in April, about 6 months ago. But lots of interesting lessons that we can learn from this one, right? So active duty military, you cannot foreclose on them. I did not know that until this deal. And 10 years can go by, 20 years can go by, and they can't foreclose. So kind of crazy. Didn't do a good thing for his credit, but by us buying the house, it did do really good for his credit at that point. So again, we made about $4,000, nothing big. Also, when we go to buy this property, we find out that it's not only in our seller's name, but it's in his ex-girlfriend's name. The loan was, right? I'm not sure if the title was in both or not, but the loan was in both of their names. So not only did we have to solve a ton of problems with the bank and cleaning it up and people backing out of contract and having to relist it, but I also had to track down the ex-girlfriend from 10 years ago. And with a little skip trace help from my friends over at Batch Services, I was able to find the ex-girlfriend from 10 years ago and track her down. And she was all pissed off because the mortgage wasn't paid either. She wasn't paying it. She wasn't living there. He wasn't paying it. He wasn't living there. So she gratefully and happily and eagerly signed a quit claim to claim her interest out of the property. So I guess she was on the deed to just the sole owner. Therefore, we didn't need her to come to closing. And then the sole owner was able to sell it to us. So he didn't actually get paid anything. He netted zero. But at the same time, he didn't have to bring any money to the table. So we did create a really, really good win-win scenario because, well, quite a few wins here, probably 5 wins, because the ex-girlfriend was able to finally break the tie with this guy, right? She couldn't do anything unless she was able to pay the house off, and they didn't have a good relationship. So her credit is going to get repaired at this point. Not fixed, but over time it'll slowly build back up. But it's been destroyed for 10 years. He was able to sell the house and get rid of it, and also get rid of her out of his life, and also start to work on building his credit again. All these bad nicks every month are going to stop. They're going to end after this month. So a win. We made $4,000. Again, not a home run, but we learned some valuable lessons, and we did earn ourselves $4,000 by helping both of them out. That's the third win. The fourth win is we cleaned up the neighborhood. This house looked like shit. It still looks like shit, and it needs some repairs, but there's no longer squatters living here. The backyard no longer looks like a jungle that's harvesting snakes and all types of other crazy animals. It's clean. We cleaned up the neighborhood, and in fact, when we came out here the first couple times, the neighbors all came out in the street and greeted us and said, "Oh my goodness, thank you so much for cleaning this house up. We've been living here for 10, 12, 14 years, and it's been vacant almost the entire time." So fourth win, we helped out the neighborhood. And the fifth win, guys, this is a 5 winner here. This is a 5 stack. The fifth win is we teed up an investor for a perfect opportunity to fix and flip this property. They're going to come in and probably spend 40, 50, maybe 60 grand, and they're going to fix this up, and they're going to probably make 20 or 30,000. So we didn't take all the meat off the bone, as a lot of people think that wholesalers do. We are out here to create win-win scenarios, get paid in the process, and just create a bunch of win-wins and help people out. The neighbors are ecstatic. They love me. Every time I come out here, They come running out and greet me and say, oh my goodness, thank you so much for cleaning up this neighborhood. I'm just trying to make a profit, but I'm also doing some really cool things by helping people in the process. So guys, this business is incredibly simple. This is wholesaling real estate. This particular deal was a wholesale because we got it under contract and we actually listed it on the MLS as owner by contract. Now I believe we shopped this to the off-market buyers first, but there wasn't a whole lot of room in it. Most of the off-market buyers are going to want to get a steeper discount off-market than an on-market buyer. They're willing to take a little bit less of a discount. So we ended up having to go that route. But I just wanted to come out today and do a quick case study, a true case study, to talk about the amount of time that this deal took us to do, all the obstacles that we had to face when closing this deal. Catching up with the ex-girlfriend and getting signatures, mortgage payments that hadn't been paid for 10 years, banks that are paying taxes so they don't have to worry about losing the property. All of these hurdles, guys, that's what we do best. We solve problems. So if you want to learn how to do this, book a call with my team. Down below this video, there should be a link to click. You can book a call. I love helping and coaching students all over the United States learn how they too can start learning how to market to motivated sellers, how to send contracts, how to secure properties, right? And then go sell those contracts for a large profit, a wholesale fee. So we didn't have to buy this house to sell it, right? We did invest $2,000 that we got back to clean it up and clean it out, but we didn't have to spend the $75,000 to then go sell it for $85,000 or $83,000 or whatever that number was. We used paperwork, and I love teaching people how to do that in this business. So book a call with my team. I hope you guys enjoyed this case study, and hopefully you guys learned a thing or two, because I know I did. Next time, we'll see you soon.